Can you hear me, California pussy?
Oh, shit. Nah, the California pussy, your favorite boxer, just fought last night.
Jamal Charlo ain't fighting until like fucking spring or fucking fall. What are you talking about?
Matter of fact, yeah. Speaking of that, why is the date set for January?
Well, that's Jamel.
If it's still there.
I don't know. I'm upset about that. I mean, Jamel does deserve, he deserves some time off, but I want to see him back. My sister's watching. Hi, Reva.
Hey, sis.
Yeah, let's talk about this Dollar Tree knockoff Oscar De La Hoya. I'm going to be honest, I fell asleep. I didn't even really watch the fight.
You didn't watch none of it?
Nope. I haven't even seen a highlight of the knockout.
That was the only fight I did watch. I mean, it was basically everything you expect. Easy fight, quick knockout. Called out Tank for like the 100th time. But
is he going to fight Tank, or is he going to keep just, like, what's he going to do?
I don't know, but he did say he's staying at 140 unless he get the Tank fight, which was interesting to me. Because those fights he act like he won, it's more realistic for him at 140 than it is 135.
Nah, he could get that Tank fight at 35, but if he moves up to 40, he's probably going to have to retire. Think about that. Ryan Garcia moving up to 140. Look who he's surrounded by. Subriel Matias, Gary Antoine Russell, Teofimo Lopez, Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis, Jose Sabeda. Like, he gets murked if he goes up to 140.
Who they gonna give to him?
I mean, who they gonna give him to?
I mean, and you're also gonna try to put somebody in there he gonna look good against. At least when it's at least before he start calling out the big names other than Tank.
I don't know, maybe a couple of small 135-pounders moving up.
Because at 135, it's names to build off of. Who is there at 140 that he can build off of?
I don't even think he could beat nobody at 140.
Can't beat Ramirez. He can't beat... Who is there for him?
Sure as hell can't beat no Gary Russell. Oh my God. Yo. Subriel Matias would do vicious things to that man. Can you imagine Ryan Garcia fighting Subriel Matias?
That's an ugly fight.
Oh my God. I don't even like Ryan. I don't even wish that for him.
Something else I know. Why don't nobody ask for Ryan versus Rolly no more? Ryan going to 40. Rolly saying he not fighting at 35. I mean, him saying he going to 47 is bullshit. So
I don't think nobody really takes out a one really serious, to be honest.
I saw major improvements in him. That's true. He was more patient last night, and he got more snapping punches. But I don't know if that's because he fought Fortuna or is that training with Joe Goosen. I don't know which one it is. But to be honest, I don't know. I don't know if Ryan looked good last night or Fortuna just looked bad.
I gotta watch that fight again. Well,
because I was like, I don't want to take credit away from Ryan, but that was probably the worst I ever seen Fortuna look. He's never been high on me.
You should have fought JoJo instead. That would have been a much bigger statement.
I think they built. If he don't fight Tank Net, I think that is what's gonna be next for him.
JoJo might fuck around and beat him.
He gonna push him. He definitely gonna be in his face all night, which is gonna make Ryan uncomfortable.
I'll say this: if she knocks out JoJo, I'll give her credit.
Do you think he would?
I don't think she'll knock out JoJo. I think she'll go to a decision. Because JoJo a thoroughbred. But like I said, if she knocks out JoJo, I'll give her all the credit in the world.
Are you saying she?
Yeah.
Also, a fight people been asking for that I never really paid too much attention to, but now I want to see it. I want to see Ryan and Isaac Cruz now. I finally fell into the hype and wanting to see that fight.
Oh, yeah, I would like to see that fight. That would be a good fight. Actually, no, I want to see Isaac Cruz versus JoJo, actually. Only fight I want to see Ryan in at 35 is with Tank. Because I think everybody beats him, but I think I think Tank lays his ass out. I just want to see Tank knock his dick string loose and spin his fucking jaw. Send him packing on 140.
He also said last night, I didn't hear it, but I read in a quote that if he doesn't get Tank, he wants T.O. at 140.
You see, that's interesting because I've never, ever heard him call out T.O. I've never heard him do that. That's real interesting.
So let me ask you this. The best version of Ryan, what's that probably? Does Luke Campbell win? I would assume so.
Yeah, it's not saying much.
So take the best version of Ryan. If T.O. looks how he did versus Kambosos, who would you pick?
Ryan will probably spin his jaw. That's if. Let me think. If Ryan don't put T.O. out, wait a minute. Let me think. That's an interesting question. Best version of Ryan versus the worst version of T.O. I'll say Ryan probably clips him. But the best
if you look how he
version
did
of
versus
both,
Kambosos, yeah.
but them like as you know the best version of each other, T.O. fucks him up.
I thought I would still pick T.O. regardless, but I gotta see how he look in his comeback fight before I make I think T.O. will win, but say how I think it'll end. Because his head been all over the place.
Yeah, man, I don't know what's wrong with him. Hope he gets the help he needs.
I think that build-up will be fucking annoying, too.
That what?
The build-up and Ryan and T.O. got in the fight.
God. I'll probably just put my head through a fucking glass window if I have to sit through that.
And I never asked you, AB and Figueroa is official for August 20th.
I hope AB wins. Because if AB
I was
wins,
going to say, honestly, I'm worried. You know, that's not a bad idea. If AB, depending on how comfortable he can make 47, I'm worried about that fight for AB. Because he's better, but that work rate, and that's all Figueroa is, punches.
This is last stand. But, AB and Rolly, that needs to happen.
That press conference. Because AB, all the stuff Tank was just dismissing, AB going to entertain it.
You look like a fucking koala bear committee. Man, shut your dumb ass up, bitch ass nigga. That's exactly how it would go. Rolly a bitch ass nigga too.
He gonna say this shit about Leonard Ellaby again too.
Let it rock with him so you know what I already think. I ain't even gonna get into that again. Hey, B, I told you not. Man, I told you before I took that soft ass shit up. You out here fucking promoting this dumbass. Oh shit.
Is there any fight coming up this week? I know Danny Garcia coming up, but that's the week after next.
Yeah, I was supposed to spar you that week coming up, but I'm going to South Carolina instead.
Are you getting some work up down there?
Nope. I'll be on the beach. You know what I'm gonna be looking at?
Yeah, you ain't got to tell me.
What am I gonna be looking at?
Do you want me to say it on here?
Yeah, go ahead. You only got 2 videos on here.
What, feet?
Fuck you. Nigga walks around with a Pornhub hat. That's normal shit. Fuck you. Ryan fucks up. Yo, kick this nigga off the fucking live, bro.
I do want to know. I'm going to ask, I want to know, is there really somebody who believes, other than Jimmy, is there anyone who believes Ryan can actually beat Tank?
He only says that because he fucking hates Tank. Yo, I really want to know, like, how does he do it? Like, how does he beat Tank?
It's like, yeah, because...
Why to explain the dynamic on how he beats Tank. Because I guarantee Tank will knock that little nigga dick string loose.
How many rounds do you think that'll last?
6.
You think it'll be like the Rolly fight? Or you think they going win him?
It's going to be a mix of the Rolly and the Barrios fight. I ain't giving him shit. That motherfucker don't deserve no goddamn flowers. The fuck you talking about? Give that man his flowers. Oh my God, do not tell me we have Ryan Garcia supporters on the goddamn live. That is just as bad as having damn Dillian White supporters.
Nah, no, nothing as bad as that.
I don't know how you even support Dillian White.
Or better yet, I got one. Do you think there's anything Ryan can do against Tank or would do against Tank that'll impress you?
You're sad, bro. I'm not sad. I'm actually very, very happy. I'm in a great mood. Ryan will probably bully him. Like, physically, Ryan will bully him. But Ryan's not a physical fighter. I think he might, like, get Tank's attention, actually. You're sad.
Well, you think he'll stun Tank?
Huh?
You think he'll stun him?
I think he might hit Tank, and Tank might be like, oh, shit. That might wake Tank up. If he were to knock Tank out, I'd be, oh my God. I'll delete my social media.
I was saying I'm not even the biggest Tank fan, but I don't know if I can get back on Instagram the day after that.
God, that would be the darkest day in boxing history. I will say this though.
I'm telling you, Ryan versus Rolly or Ryan versus Cruz is a fight I want to see before a Tank fight.
I want good gimmick to stop cinnamon. Y'all heard that right now. Me, the biggest Triple G hater. I want the old man, good grandpa, to stop cinnamon.
When it comes to that fight, I put it like this: I don't care who wins as long as it ends in a stoppage.
Somebody's getting knocked out. That fight's not going the distance. They both hit too hard. The thing is, Tank is just, I know Tank's thorough, and I know he's tough. Ryan's not really tough. So if it gets in a shootout, I think Davis got to worry. But because Ryan fucking closes his eyes so goddamn much, and because he just like takes a little stupid, you know what I mean? His left hook is strong, but the foundation behind it is horrible.
I think Ryan's best shot is a KO him early. If he can land big before Tank closes the distance, that's his best shot. Because Tank gonna be inching his way to him.
Biased. Bro, I already told you I'm biased. I don't give a damn. Like, why are you telling me things that I know? Tell me something I don't know. Sibbie, I'm going to tell you right now, right? That's one of my pet peeves in life, is when people try to tell me something I already know. Like, damn, you don't think I don't know that? I didn't just tell you that?
Oh, what, being biased?
Yes. Like, everybody knows I'm a biased boxing fan. If I don't like a fighter, that fighter loses to everybody under the sun. Like Dillian White probably gets slept by Christian Hammer.
Possibility. He wouldn't. I don't think he would, but it's a possibility.
As long as he gets knocked out, that's all that matters. Relax. Bro, don't come on my show and tell me to relax. Nobody knows who you are. You don't even got a profile picture. Your name doesn't even make sense. Bro, it's been a long day. I've been up all damn day. You would tell that I'm aggravated, right?
While talking to this guy, yeah. Let me see something. Let me see.
What do you see?
Let me see if he get on here.
You want me to argue with somebody at night, don't you?
Nope. Like he ain't accepting it.
Where's Southpaw at? He didn't want to come on.
He declined the offer. He declined it.
Oh, he declined the offer like Canelo declined the offer to fight Jamal Charlo in May this year? That's going to get a lot of people don't want to go.
Barrios and Rolling.
I want to see Barrios fight Speedy Rashidi.
Man, y'all got to take it easy on Barrios. He just fought Tank and Thurman back to back. Like, he got knocked out one fight, and then his face was just damaged against him. Like, let that man get a tune-up first. DJ, come on here.
You know what it is? I went running and I went swimming today.
Is that?
Hi, bro.
Did you swim a workout or just a swim?
It was just a swim, but it was still a workout.
What's a good tune-up that he can headline? Who can headline? Barrios? He not headlining it.
Oh, my bad.
DJ.
What up?
Hey,
What's
DJ,
good?
DJ, I gotta say something.
You got what?
I gotta say something. I respect the dance skills when what was the song? What was that song that came on? All About the Benjamins. I respect the dance skills at Pocast, DJ.
I seen that too.
My mom was like, I know we're gonna be so in the mood to see what's going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna find somewhere to go because my wife in her office, I normally do my podcast, but she in the room with the AC up high. You know, it's kind of blazing out here with this heat. But what's going on with everybody, man? I'm glad to be on because it's been a minute since I've been on.
We were just talking about the
hypothetical you watched the fight last night?
I watched a little bit of it. I mean, the only reason why, I know they was trying to hype Fortuna up to win the fight, but I mean, if Ryan would have lost, you know, I would have been like ultimately shocked. But I mean, Ryan did what he had to do because, I mean, we already know, like, it's like, yo, you win this fight, you go to fight Tank. You know, you get the fight you want. And I'm interested in seeing that fight because you got to understand, people counted Ryan Garcia out. You know what I'm saying? Because he hasn't been mentally focused and all this other stuff. Whatever he did, that he did in this camp, he did it. We ain't see no videos of him doing no hard punching on stomachs to everybody. But he went in there and did what he had to do. Right. So he went in there, did what he had to do, and now we possibly will see a build-up. See, people forget Ryan is a amateur pedigree. He's not no walk in the park like he just came in the game or whatever. Nah, he came in the game and he's doing a lot of stuff that, you know, people forget. He fought Devin Haney how many times? Like 7 times? Something like that. People forget those things because of all of the hoopla and all of the commercials and everything else. And I think, you know, I'm going to be real. I mean, people don't be looking at it like this, but I don't know if you've been in sparring. I could be, you know, I'm a realist. I could be real enough to say I remember getting rocked and beat up in the sparring session and then coming back to the gym and questioning everything I did for 5 years.
Not
you know, and a lot of times when
I go home.
Oh, you said the next day. Nah, it would bother me for a while, but I would never be the same after that until I took some time off to come back into the sport and get my wits under me. But I think that's what happened with Ryan when he got hit by what's his name?
Campbell.
What's my man that retired? Yeah, when he got hit by Nate Campbell, I think it did something to him. A lot of people don't want to talk about that, but I think it did.
Well, all I'm gonna say is this: if that's the truth, I don't want to know what's gonna happen when Tank hit him.
Yeah.
He might reevaluate his entire damn life if he get hit by one of them bombs against Tank.
Well, I mean, when you look at it from that standpoint, you know, and you saying that he hit by one of the bombs by Tank, you gotta understand. I mean, he's been through the storm. I'm not saying he's not going to be in a fight or anything like that. I'm saying he's been through the storm. What I'm saying is mentally, I think after he got out of that Luke Campbell fight, he wasn't focused.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we don't know what was going on in the backstage. Maybe in them sparring sessions that he was having with guys, he was doing, it was some things going on with him that a lot of times we don't know about in sparring. You know, he get hit, he get rocked, and he ain't looking the same. And then his camp is like, yo, what's going on with you? What's going on? You know how it is. Coach Sean to tell you. Coach Sean, you know you had guys in camps and in boxing that they came from a major fight and they got rocked in a fight, and then when they go back to the gym, they ain't the same fighter no more.
Yeah, fighters get punch out, especially when they get knocked out. When they come back from like being stopped, a knockout.
Right. You know. I mean, for me, I think that's why I'm able to still move around with guys, because when things like that have happened in sparring, or, you know, like I told y'all, I told y'all candidly, like in the gym, like it was like what you say, the moment of truth, like if I was going to go pro or if I wasn't going to go pro. And me and my boy was sparring, and I told him, yo, we going hard, and he rocked me with some, and I was never the same. But it took me some years. I took some time off. A lot of fighters don't take that time off. I took a year, 2 years off, and then I got my hunger back. When I came back to the gym, I was a different fighter. A lot of times fighters, like I said, you're a young guy. So let's say an injury happens and you don't take time to get yourself together. It doesn't mean it's the end of the road for your career. Think about Hopkins. Think about all these guys that have aged well in the sport, and they came back. I think for a lot of fighters, they think they got to jump right in the ring. And a lot of times you don't got to jump right in the ring. If you believe in God and you believe in the will and your destiny and your purpose, this is a part of the road that you that has been paid for you, but that don't mean it's the end of the road for you. But I'm very interested in seeing what Tank is going to do in this fight. I mean, I hope that they saying the deal's going to go through, but I mean, hey, we're going to see what it's going to be, you know.
I'm gonna ask you and Coach like I asked Hitman. Is there anything? Do y'all think it's anything Ryan can do to Tank that'll impress you?
No, I mean, like I said, I think Ryan is a pedigree. I think Ryan, people don't be understanding that. They think he's just this pretty boy flash in the pants. I think if he does win, I wouldn't be too far-fetched to believe that he shouldn't have won. He's been on a big stage as an amateur, so I wouldn't be surprised if he beat Tank. I'd be like, okay, it was one of them fights. People don't understand the magnitude of a Ryan Garcia in a Tank fight, or a Devin Haney and a Ryan Garcia. This is something that's been groomed on since they've been in amateurs to happen. I'm gonna see you in the pros. I bet you those conversations that happen, man. You know, I'm gonna be pro. You know, I'm gonna see you in the pros. I'm gonna be the world champion. Shakur probably be in them conversations too. Who knows? You know.
Yeah, well, Shakur whip all their asses.
I don't want to talk about it, because I'm gonna be real. We haven't heard Shakur mentioned in those rounds with those guys. We only hear Tank, Devin, and now we hear Ryan because Ryan made noise at the fight. I mean, he put it like this: he took a $20,000 gamble, but now look, he's being talked about, and he's being in the possible fights with Tank. How much I mean, people won't be understanding the strategy and things. But think about that master move plan. I'm gonna bet 20. I'm gonna bet 20 grand to Errol Spence, and I'm gonna get it filmed. Get it filmed. Now he makes noise. He loses 20 grand, but now he's on the threshold of getting $1 million payday. I think that was a well worth gamble.
Oh, you talking about the all access? Okay.
Yeah, on the all access, I think that was masterful. I think that was a really good strategy. Lose 20,000 to gain $1 million.
Yeah, because ain't no way he really thought Rolly was gonna be Tank.
I'm gonna be real. I thought that Rolly was going to give Tank some work. I really did. But let me tell you, fights that I see like that make me understand. Now, guess what? I got a mutual respect for Tank now. It took me to get to that fight to get respect for Tank because Tank had to box in that fight, and he had to be strategic in his punching. He couldn't just go in there and bang out with Rolly and think he was going to get it. He went in there and strategically took apart Rolly and baited him in and beat him. And I said that was masterful. I was very impressed. I was very impressed.
Coach, you watched the Ryan Garcia fight last night?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it.
What'd you think?
Far as like the win, to me, and this is just my opinion, you know, even though I was saying that dude was gonna stop Ryan, like that was just me talking. But I was just saying that. But do I think that Ryan really impressed me? I can't really say that. But you know, he got in there, he got the job done. I do like how Rolly start. I mean, like how Ryan starts off though. Ryan not a slow starter, in my opinion.
He's not.
Yeah, and I feel like in a fight with Tank too slow of a starter. And I think that he'll quickly find himself against Ryan. He will quickly find himself down on the scorecard.
Mm-hmm.
He not really like a crazy volume type puncher. You know, even in the fight with Tank and Rolly, even though Tank did stop Rolly, I think I was more impressed at how Rolly was in the fight. Do I think he would have possibly beat him? No. Do I believe that Tank would have possibly stopped him? Yeah. But I think that Rolly showed he was more durable than I felt he would be. You know what I'm saying? I felt he did show me that. As far as Tank, if he's in there with somebody like Ryan, you know, Ryan, of course, has a better skill set than Rolly. So I feel like I kind of, me personally, I in that fight, I would have to go favor Ryan. I would have to, you know.
You say your favorite Ryan?
Huh?
You say your favorite Ryan?
What? I think I would. Yeah.
Nah, I'm not. No, I'm not going to do that. But somebody asked the question: what was Davis' best win, and which one was and Garcia's best win? Which one was better? I think for Garcia, I think it was the Luke Campbell. Of course, we definitely seen that, and I think, Tank has a multitude of people that we could put as his best coming out show. Every time I watch Tank up to this point, again, I was not a Tank fan up to this point. Like, it took me to get to Floyd to Ricky Hatton for me to be a believer in Floyd Mayweather, and that's just me. You get what I'm saying? So what I will say is that I mean, I hear what you're saying, Coach. I think that Tank will make adjustments on the fly, as you've seen in a lot of his fights. He finds a way to make adjustments in the later rounds, and I think in the later rounds, I think Tank will still win the fight. I think that Ryan will be figuring him out. It may be a slow first 3-4 rounds because they both will be tapping and trying to fill each other out. And I think eventually around 5 or 6, or if Ryan is smart, he'll jump on Tank early. It depends. I mean, we don't know what fighter we will get.
That's another thing.
I feel like consistently Ryan showed that he's not a slow starter.
The thing is, I think
I understand that, but you still gotta respect the power of Tank, though.
I think Tank is a slow starter too, but I don't think he'll be as slow as Ryan because Ryan isn't gonna he's gonna be at a faster rate than Rolly. He's faster than Rolly,
right?
Probably stronger. I don't know, but and then I don't think Ryan will start as fast as Tank because he knows what's in front of him. I mean, Ryan, he started faster than everybody. I mean, look who he fought. Besides Luke Campbell, there hasn't been anyone that I thought would actually could beat Ryan. So
yeah, like Coach said, it might. Somebody's saying it's too soon for Ryan, but I don't think it's too soon for Ryan. A lot of these fighters, man, they got a lot of pedigree. So I don't understand why people are saying it's a too soon for Ryan fight. These guys done fought in the amateurs before. They done fought the top of the top. Ryan Garcia's been up there with them boys. So I don't know how people are saying this is a too soon for Ryan fight. I don't know.
I think Ryan is as ready as he'll ever be. I think the only thing I would like to see that could get him ready is I'd like to see him really get cracked. I mean, I know he got dropped versus Luke Campbell, but I would like to see how he fights during adversity, actually getting hurt. But other than that, I don't really think there's nothing else I would want to see before fighting Tank. I think he's ready as now more than he'll ever be ready before.
Right.
And then another thing with Ryan, I think he'll work. I mean, I think he'll start, depending on how much, if he really believes he can knock Tank out, that really will set the tone on how he comes out. I don't know how much he believes that, how much is at his talk. It's Ryan, so you never know.
Yeah.
So now my question.
I would say, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Coach. I'm gonna let you finish that because I got one of the dust is settled questions. So go ahead, Coach.
Hold on. Hold the question. Somebody coming in.
I already know who it is.
Yup.
What's up, man? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
What's going on? Yeah, we can hear you.
Man, me and Coach Sean talk every day, but what's up with y'all?
Not much, Apostle. We know how you do, man. You got your lanes that you in, and you doing great, man. I appreciate that you came on the show to talk with us, man. But you know how you do, man. You got a lot of things going, but I respect it. I respect your hustle, man.
We family, man. We family.
Right. Well, when the dust settles and we see, this is the thing that I didn't like. So they had this whole debate on when it's all settled, who's going to be at the top of between 130 to 140. And I'm going to be real. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think the last three, I'm not going to say my last three. I already know my last three going. I'm definitely going to put Tank in there. And I'm definitely going to put Devin in there. And I'm going to jump in Shakur. But who's the fourth guy that's going to be in that when the dust settled? When we get the final four of the 130s to 140s, you put Loma still in there? Do you still put Loma in there?
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Apostle.
Sean got something.
This might be, people may not agree on it, but this is just how I feel. I think they're starting to move their feet from Keyshawn Davis. I think they're starting to move their feet from Keyshawn Davis because they see top rank is moving him.
Sean.
Hold on. AK, you know how we do. We disagree. But it's always love. I think they're moving their feet from Keyshawn Davis.
You don't think it's too soon for that type of talk?
Coach, You
Huh?
you right, but not. I mean, you not yet. I don't think they're doing that right now, but I think they will soon.
You know, Keyshawn last fight was supposed to be for a small title.
Yeah, but I mean, I do, but it's still gonna be a while before he fight one of them. So I don't think they're thinking about it yet.
I'm not saying it's gonna be soon that he's fighting, but they move. I believe they're moving their feet because they know who's coming.
Can we pump the brakes on that rate just a little bit, Sean? Just give us a little bit of time, Sean. You're
That's what I
jumping
said.
out there
Not
too
yet.
soon.
I don't think they're doing it yet. I do think they will, but not yet.
I see. I'm gonna be real. I see Keyshawn moving up to 147 eventually. I mean, that's how I feel. He's a young fighter and he's gonna get bigger. So I can see Keyshawn moving up to 147.
Now listen, I think Top Rank got Keyshawn on the
147.
fast track. Yeah, I don't know about that 47 right now. I
think he means just as far as his career down the line.
Yeah, I think eventually he's gonna settle down and be in 147. Right now, I mean, if you're gonna put him in the talks between 130 and 140, I do believe that Keyshawn has shown himself to be a solid fighter. But you know, right now in the thick of things, I don't think you throw Keyshawn in there for another 2 or 3 years.
I'm staying tall on what I said.
I don't think it's really the years. I think it just depends on who he fights and how many fights.
You know what? See, I was trying. I was trying to come in here on some other stuff. Hey, Sean. So who's it? Be specific, Sean. Who's moving their feet?
Huh?
Be specific. Who's moving their feet?
I think they all moving their feet.
No, don't say they all. Be specific.
Nah, everybody ain't moving their feet, man. I'm gonna be real. You know, my boy ain't moving his feet.
Who's Shakur?
No, they already said they're not gonna fight each other. They already said they're not gonna fight each other.
Well, I can understand that. I could definitely understand that. I mean, that's your core boy. You know, I mean, they got some history together. You know, I can see that.
Are you suggesting that Tank and Devin are going to move because of this guy? Is that what you're saying? Be specific, Sean. Stop beating around the bush.
They gotta move. It ain't just him.
Yeah, I want to hear this too. I want to hear what Coach wants to say too.
It's Keyshawn and Shakur Stevenson. It's like, which one you not gonna fight? Cause you're gonna have to see one of them. We said it's too soon. How many fights did Lomachenko have before he fought Gary Rush?
Don't do that. We're not doing that.
Hey, Coach, I think
no.
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think they're moving their feet yet until Keyshawn get that notable win. Then that's when it'll start. I don't think they're doing that right now.
Right. So, right now, when the dust settle in the next, let's say in the next 2 years, who is in the final four of the 130s to 140s? But let's not put Davis there because he's coming.
Why y'all include 140 in this? So why y'all include 140?
Because I always look at the 10 because you got to remember, you got a 130 to one guys jumping from 130 to 135.
Right.
And then those 135 to 140 guys, those guys, I mean, when you talk about 130 to 140, these are the guys that they talking about. Shakur, Tank, and Devin.
I want you to add 140 because it's a 140 pound that I'm going to put in there on my list.
Okay.
So that's why I said that, Apostle. I mean, because when you talk about those guys, those are the guys they're talking about from 130 to 140. So my question is, do you add Loma as a number 4? Because we're ready, even though I'm going to be real, and I have not seen it on the polls. When you talk about 130 to 140, they don't really talk about Shakur. They might mention him number 5. So Shakur number 5. But they never mention him in the top 3, which is baffling to me.
Stop that, man.
I said they don't.
Stop doing that, man. Stop. For one, he's at 130. Of course, we all know once he get to 135, he's a different type of threat. We know that. Let him get to 135. My only action, because what I'm saying is, Shakur's at 130. You got these guys at 135. It's a whole nother set of killers at 140. And it's a few that people are glossing over. So that's why I'm trying to figure why 140 is included in this.
Okay, all right. So we don't include that. So how do you break down these guys in these weight divisions? Because I mean, truth be told, I don't think, I mean, you got Shushu from Brooklyn that may move up to 130, and he's a monster. I mean, everybody knows Bruce Carrington from Brooklyn is a monster. I mean, I'm gonna say it right now. He's a dangerous fighter. But
Okay.
who at 130? Who at 130s? Who you got at 130?
We all know Shakur demanded 130. We all know that. That's not a debate.
Okay, he's the man up. So let's go at 135. We got a lot of guys up there at 135. So who do you got in those top four spots in 135?
I only see three. I see Tank, Devin, and Shakur when he get there. I don't see nobody else.
You win that. I mean, and I'm not saying this to be funny, but the fight writers, the public, I mean, the people that want to run boxing, they're going to throw Loma in there. How do you see Loma going into these fights? Because they just want to throw him in there.
DJ, hey, what I think? I don't know which one. I think Shakur or Devin, one of them is going to beat Loma in the next 2 years. One of them's going to fight him, and whoever fights him, I'm picking them to beat Loma.
I pick both of them to beat him. I pick both of them if it's not a robbery.
But
if they fight him in the next 2 years, they're supposed to beat him. Time is already going to beat him. That ain't no. That's just a name. That ain't no heck of an accomplishment.
That's still an accomplishment.
Wow. 2 years. This is the thing. We gotta, as fans of the game, we gotta stop letting people just get back with a name. That's why.
Hold on. Why isn't beating Loma good right now?
In 2 years, you didn't say right now.
No, I said between now and the next 2 years. Between now and the next 2 years.
Oh, now that's different. In 2 years, no.
Check this out. By the end of this year or the beginning of next year, as soon as he come back from the war, he get in the ring with Devin, Shakur, Tank. They packing him up.
Yeah, they packing him up. I mean, it's gonna be a great career. But Loma, I think if he doesn't look good, I think if he fights those guys in that order, I could, let's just say even if he fights one and then he takes a tune-up fight to get himself together, and then he fights another, I could see Loma having to say it's been a real good journey in this boxing game, but I'm gonna have to bow out.
He gonna fight. I only think he gonna fight all three. It's gonna be between either he gonna fight
Devin and Shakur.
Yeah, it's gonna be either Shakur first big fight at 35, or he gonna fight Devin. He gonna fight Devin for undisputed.
Yeah, they packing him up. They packing. Anybody sleeping on Loma?
We ain't sleeping. We ain't saying it's gonna be a cakewalk. I just picked both of them.
Him up. He should have got them youngins before now. They're in their bag now. See what I'm saying? Them youngsters are in their bag now.
Well, come on. We talking about Bob Arum, Apostle. You can't really say that. It ain't them. It's Bob Arum. We all know that Bob Arum is going to favor the fight that guy he won. The golden boy of that 130 division, they still talking about Loma as this great fighter. They did that to Manny Pacquiao. For how many years you gonna keep doing this to Manny Pacquiao? Now you got Lomachenko that's doing the Manny Pacquiao too.
That ship done sail, bro. That ship done sail.
I think
you know what I mean.
We understand, but you understand what I'm saying, Apostle? What I'm saying is that now they doing Loma like they did Manny Pacquiao.
I don't think
of the slow guys. Now Loma's taking that run.
I don't think he's gonna hold on to him no more, man. I think the writing's on the wall, though. You know what I'm saying? He clearly see that the Devins and the Shakurs is here now. He knows that them boys problems for him. He's ready to pass that torch, bro.
They're gonna pass.
I don't think he's ready. I don't think Loma gonna just go in there and just lay down for these guys. I think
Loma
still got some stuff in the bag.
If he fights Shakur, Devin right now, or even Tank, that would be the best one on their resume. But I don't think
that's right.
That would be right. And I think this is when they say, and I'm not saying it to be funny or just I'm using an ad lib. The king of the jungle. If the writers wanted to say, they would say, "Oh, Loma, you listen. I'm not going to get into this race bait thing, but I'm gonna throw it out there. We already know on ESPN when they do those stories and Loma was talking about who he sparred and he said, to Shakur. It's like, yo, knock it the fuck off, bro. You know exactly how you was looking in them fights. You didn't look all that great in sparring. You look good, but you ain't look all that. That's why you didn't want to pay Shakur. Your father told you to pay Shakur. Y'all went in there like, oh, well, he could come up here. He's not going to get paid. Your own father made you pay him, Loma. That's what I'm getting at. That if we're going to say like the Lions, they're going to put Loma there and they're going to say he still got something in the tank. He still got something in the tank.
But the Lions is here, man. The Lions are here. Them kids hungry. The Lions is here. Them kids hungry. Them kids is look, Shakur and Devin on something different, man. Them boys on some different stuff. They're not playing with no Lomachenko, bro.
Devin's size and his style is all wrong for Loma. They
thought them boys ain't playing. Them boys
Tia was too big for Loma. Devin's style with that jab, when he keep putting that jab in him, it's all wrong for Loma. I don't think it's gonna be an easy fight.
Loma ain't gonna be able to set up that fast.
But I think Devin and Shakur beats him right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real. I mean, I was looking at, and I'm going outside of the post. I was looking at something that John Moran said about Michael Jordan. He said, and I'm only going to listen to what he said. He said Michael Jordan in this era would be just a regular superstar amongst superstars. And so when I hear stuff like that, I said, I think for me, I think that we in the era of a lot of great superstars. It's not just one great boxing superstar in these divisions. We are action packed. It's not like the 80s and the 90s. I mean, we had great fighters that didn't fight each other, but in this era, I think we got a lot of
My bad, DJ. Can you see the comments?
Yeah,
I can.
It's a comment I want you to respond to. It says
Shakur invited himself, but ended up being his main sparring partner. That's why they paid him. Man, yo, listen, I don't know who that is. I don't know. Bertha Box, I don't know where you're getting that from. You got to tell me where you're getting that from, because I know the story personally. But go ahead. Tell me where you got that from, Bertha Boxing. Since you, I mean, obviously I don't know what the story, where you got that story from. Because while Lee went on somebody's show, he debunked a lot of stuff that was going on in the camp about a lot of things. So, I mean, I'm trying to understand where he got that from.
All right. You said Jordan needs to have. I guess
he ain't gonna respond now unless he jumped off. I'm trying to understand where he got that from. Oh, he ain't even on no more. So he came on here, said that, and then left out.
No, he's still in there.
Yeah, he might be typing.
No, meant to you. No, John Morant, a basketball player, said that plays for the Grizzlies. He said that Michael Jordan in this era will be amongst a multitude of great stars. That's what he said.
But I thought they said John Morant backtracked and said he didn't say that. Somebody misquoted him or something.
Oh, okay. Well, Bertha Boxer said Shakur said that himself, that he said in an interview. Okay. He said, so basically what you're saying is that Shakur said he basically invited himself up to camp. Is that what you're saying, or something like that? Let me hear what. Let me go back to the comment. Let me see. He says Shakur invited himself, but ended up being his main spar. That's why they paid him. Okay. Well, I mean, from what I heard, I don't know if it was ever said, but I also did hear that they told him they wasn't going to pay him. That's the thing I'm going to. They said they wasn't going to pay him, and then I heard that they was like, "Yo, pay that man." That's what I'm talking about. That they said. So I don't know. I gotta talk to, when I talk to Wally, I'm gonna ask him about it.
Hey, Pastor, what are the chances you get Ryan against Tank?
60-40 Tank.
That's closer than I thought you were gonna say, to be honest.
Because we can sit here and act like the size and the length ain't going to be a problem, but it is. I mean, we go ahead.
I said there's some of my comments. I don't think it's a 50-50 fight. I do favor Tank to win. I will pick him, but I do think Ryan is disrespected in the way they see the fight.
I think he's disrespected in a lot of ways, though, Seb. You got to understand. Like, what Tank say about Rolly? Come on, man. I've been doing this since I was since I was 7 years old, man.
Ryan,
I think people forget that Ryan was a boxer and he was amongst those talk to come into pros and do good things.
Ryan is he's disrespected, but some of that he puts on himself, some of the shit he does. But
yeah, of course.
As far as the way they treat him and how he'll do in certain matchups, I'm like, I mean, I know he got flaws, but damn, they act like he just, I don't even know what name this. They act like he Fortuna level.
Yeah, you're right. You know the boxing world. Come on, man. Y'all know the boxing world, bro. You know the boxing world. They fickle, man. A person can stump their toe wrong in the ring, and next thing you know, he trash. But I mean, all I'm saying is, we know. You just look at the size of this kid. We look at his length. We know that it's not gonna be an easy night for Tank. He definitely gonna have to find a way to, to get out of his character and do something different.
He said Garcia and the line ain't no dog. I haven't seen a reason to agree or disagree with that, so I don't know.
I mean, I think
I see more reason to say he is than he isn't. I mean, he got dropped. Luke Campbell got a stoppage, so I don't know. A Tank is going to be different.
I don't know because
different, of course, but I just don't know.
I just think that a lot of people counted Ryan out. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. He went in there, he fought the one guy. He looked sloppy, but this was like the next fight. He got himself together. He came in there poised. He did what he needed to do against Fortuna, and I think that's what it was. I think he had to get the monkey off his back. One, just get in there, was pressure for him to knock out the one guy, and then he went in there the next time, and he went in there and fought, and he went and got his swagger back. So, I mean, does that make him not still a guy that you talk about? Like Apostle said, Ryan Mouth gets him into a lot of the stuff, but you can't knock the fact that the kid has boxing ability. It's just everything else that comes along with him is not all that great.
Someone put a good comment up. If their Tank was exposed whether Ryan has IQ or not, he would definitely be fighting backwards. I think that's one of the.
Somebody said that trainer move was a good move. I guess for Ryan it was a good move.
Talking about going from Eddie Reynoso to Goose.
He was more patient.
Wait, I can't hear you, Apostle. Say that again.
Hey Sean. Hey, mute the background for a minute.
All
right. They talk about from going to Joe Goose versus Eddie Reynoso.
I'm gonna be real. I don't see. Let me say this, right? Mentally, some fighters could be charged or sparked in a certain way. I always believe that. However, I don't think that it's a thing of the trainers. I think it's a thing of the fighters, believe it or not. Think about when Shane Mosley went over to Nassim Richardson and he was back on a knockout streak. He was beating up everybody. It was like what happened is that mentally, I think Shane Mosley got into his mind that, this is a different trainer, but it wasn't nothing different about the training. Only mentally is where I think fighters get it mentally messed up. I don't think it's necessarily the trainers.
Well, sometimes you can be with somebody for so long and you get complacent because you're doing the same old thing, and sometimes a different voice can guide you to something that you didn't do before. So I mean, it's
true.
You know what I'm saying?
But all right, somebody asked a question: what happens when you take away Ryan Garcia's left hand? Then Ryan Garcia just has to figure it out.
You can't do that.
Pistol. He got to figure it out. We can say, what if we take away Tank's power?
Yes.
What if we say something like that?
You can't ask what if you take away their best attribute, because nobody will be the same.
Right. Nobody would be the same. I mean, I don't never understand why people ask those questions. What if you take this away? Then what if you take power away? Then what fight would we got? What fight do we have? We don't got no fight.
Like I said, it's a chess match for the both of them because, at the same time, he gotta he got to worry about Tank's power every second of the fight. But Tank got to work to get around that jab and the reach and all of that stuff. So it's going to be a chess match. And I would just believe Tank just got a little bit more in him than Ryan do. That's why I'm going 60-40. But Ryan definitely got an excellent chance to win. You know what I mean?
Oh, somebody asked the question, Mr. Got That Work asked, so do you think that this training Joshua did for Usyk is pointless? I don't think it's pointless that Joshua is doing this training for Usyk. I think Apostle hit it on the button. I think different trainers, when you are redundant with the same trainer, I think it gives you a different spark. So I think, I'm going to be real, I think we see a different Anthony Joshua in the fight. I think Usyk still has, I mean, people will count Usyk out. I don't count Usyk out. I think Usyk is what they say, like what Evander Holyfield was to one era. I think Usyk will be to this era with the cruiserweight going up to the heavyweight. I think Usyk is going to be okay. I think he just get cut easily, which would be a deciding factor in some fights. But I think Usyk is a credible fighter.
A credible fighter? Shoot, I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. Y'all know I always gotta give y'all one take that's gonna be what did he just say? So I'm gonna go and put this out there. I think Usyk gonna stop AJ this time, and I like his chances against Tyson Fury. Yeah,
I like. Hey, but listen, how long I've been saying that Usyk is a credible guy, even though everybody say he's a small fighter, but I think he's going to be. Because I think for a heavyweight or a cruiserweight to have that foot movement is a very good thing. You know, like what they say, foot movement ain't all that great, but for a bigger guy, that's excellent to have.
Anybody that's excellent to have. But yeah, I don't think either one of those are unpopular opinions. Even if you don't disagree with it, it's not like it's a wild statement. I mean, he damn near stopped AJ in the 12th round of the first fight, and then him versus Fury. I give Fury the edge only because it's a huge size advantage.
Yeah, that size advantage is. I mean, I'm gonna be real, and a lot of people won't say this, and I don't really want to say it, but I mean, right now, and I'm not saying this to be funny, but I mean, you look at the burly guy that Tyson Fury is. I mean, he's the most. I mean, right now. We know there's other lines in the water, Apostle, that they don't even mention in the heavyweight division that could really give this guy a good fight. But they don't talk about it. They talk about King Kong. They talk about, the round robins. They keep talking about the round robins. But I think Tyson Fury, when we talk about heavyweights right now, I wouldn't say he's the best, but I would say he's a complete heavyweight fighter because he can move, he can take a punch, and he's elusive, and he got a strong jab.
Here's my thing. I like Usyk. I like that fight for Usyk. Even though Tyson still might win, I just want to see Usyk. Usyk can make it a chess match. Usyk can make him get out his element. All that leaning on him, all that, just being able to move where I can move too. All that just being able to flick a jab. Now you got to throw that jab perfect because I can move and make you miss shots too. So I just want to see the boxing match.
If Fury struggles more with shorter heavyweights too.
Yeah. So I think Usyk can make that a very interesting fight.
Yeah, I mean, Usyk is going to make a lot of fights interesting. Like I keep saying, he's our era. He's this era. Like when we talk about new eras of fighters, I think he's this era of Evander Holyfield. I mean, a lot of people don't understand the magnitude of what Usyk did. People was like, oh, Usyk, but Usyk is a cruiserweight that dominated the cruiserweight division, moved up to heavyweight, beat one of the men at heavyweight, took all the belts, and I think he's going to be one of those guys that you got to add into those equations of fighters.
Right.
In that division.
Right. I mean, right now he's a unified champion, so I mean they got to come to him.
Let me ask.
I mean, right now. Tyson Fury, somebody said who beats Tyson Fury. We can't even talk about Tyson Fury because technically, quote unquote, Tyson Fury is retired. And he's trying to get the big bag and then,
He's not going nowhere. He's not going nowhere. I'm saying I real live want to see him fight Usyk. I I think that's just a it's something interesting about that fight. I just need to see it on in the ring. You know what I mean? I like Usyk chances. Not shocked that Tyson win. Not saying that. I just think Usyk can make it a real interesting fight and really get him out of his
Fury knows it
comfort
himself.
zone.
Right.
What do y'all think of because I forgot to ask y'all something Ryan Garcia said last night. He said he's staying at 140. He will only go back to 135 for Tank. So let's say the Tank fight don't happen. How does Ryan Garcia do in the current 140 division?
He gonna be in witness protection.
Gotta be.
He gonna be in witness protection. There's too many killers up there.
If you look at the names, you got Josh Taylor, Ramirez, Zepeda, Prograis, T.O., Gary Russell, Matias. I don't see him being any of them. And that's 7 right
But
now.
I could see if the fight don't go on, I could see if I was promotion and I was smart, I would go after Josh Taylor. I mean, that's just a gamble. And I think that would be, I think for Ryan, I think that would be a good, it would be a huge payday. You got Josh Taylor and then you got Ryan Garcia.
You know, honestly, a lot of people think that's crazy. If Josh Taylor is drained like he was his last fight, that might be his best chance. Because I really think he was drained in that Catterall fight. So if he looks like he did in that fight, that's Ryan Garcia's best chance. But I don't know if that was a one-time thing for Josh Taylor or not.
I mean, but think about it. What would be a bigger name? What would be a bigger name? If Tank and Ryan fell through, what would be a bigger name on Josh Taylor's resume than
T.O., if anybody.
besides T.O.? Okay, we're gonna see how T.O.'s gonna do in the next fight, because T.O.'s got a fight coming up. We're gonna see how he's gonna look. I think T.O. wins his next fight. I'm not putting him out of there, but I'm saying if that doesn't go down, then I could see Josh Taylor fighting. I could see that being a potential fight. I think that would be a big draw. A lot of times people not looking at the draw, but I think that would be a great draw for both of their careers.
I just don't see Ryan Garcia being any top name at 140. Including
Somebody
Taylor.
said Robert Eastman versus T.O.
Robert Eastman, he's still recovering from what happened earlier this year. So
Right. Robert Eastman can't even be talked about right now because he's still recovering from when he got shot. So I mean, you can't. I don't understand. Do people just come on here and just want to throw names out there, or do they do their research on the fighters? Because we can't even talk about Eastman right now because he got shot.
And y'all know what
Like that's. I don't understand.
Y'all know what our nemesis said.
what you say?
Y'all know what somebody said last time. A fight was being talked about. 2 fighters was being talked about fighting, and they won't go fight, right?
What's that?
I ain't gonna say it. All of them saying Southpaw.
Oh shit. You stupid. I told on what you're saying now.
What, say it again?
It's a southpaw joke. I know exactly what part you're talking about. Hey, hey, Pops, I want to ask you, and you too, DJ. Yeah, Broner fight got announced since the last time we talked. Him and Figueroa, August 20th. How y'all see that?
They both need a win. You know, because Figueroa kind of got derailed by Ugas, and he ain't been the same. Broner, you know, if he want to make a few more paydays or leave his name as a live wire out there, he need to win too. I think it'd be interesting, but I think AB will get this one.
Yeah, I'd say AB. I don't know. I mean, I would love to see AB get back in the driver's seat of his own career. You know, because it's sad to see a great fighter that was up there at one point as an elite and as a champion. Because a lot of times people they forget that these fighters were champions at one point, and then they lost. So I would really like to see Adrian be in the driver's seat a little bit, get that monkey off his back, get him a nice payday, get some money under his belt, and then you know, maybe next 3 or 4 fights, say, hey, I'm gonna fight this guy, that guy, and then I'm off into the sunset.
I think that fight gonna be interesting. You know, Broner, he got a very low work rate. Figueroa coming with 1,000 punches. That's all he doing. And Figueroa gets touched by too many power punches. That's all Broner gonna be throwing at him. So it's that styles clash is gonna be real interesting. And I don't think it's a fight this week. Next up was like
Yeah,
next
somebody
Daniel fight.
said that Adrian got something left in the tank. I definitely believe Adrian got a lot left in the tank. It's just that where Adrian is going to show up. Is he coming to fight or is he coming to play? You know?
Nah, I think he coming to
For
boogie
that
this time.
question, I'm gonna say it depends who he's fighting. Do I think he got something left in the tank against Figueroa? Yeah, but if you put him against the top name at welterweight, and I'm a big AB fan. I hate to say that, but
I mean, we all are. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, the Can Man. I used to be down with the Can Man. African, American, Dominican. Anybody can get it.
He's fighting the level of people he needs to be fighting right now.
Right. Yeah, I think he'll come back and put on a show. You know what I mean? Put on the show, do what he got to do to get it done, man, and he'll be able to keep Figueroa off him and hit him hard enough to keep him at bay and get it done. I like this one for AB.
Well, what up and coming fights we got that's interesting to talk about.
Up and coming fighters or fights?
No, fights.
Ryan Garcia about to fight at 54 against Jose Benavidez.
And then my man Pots and Pans is on the undercard on that joint.
Pots and Pans?
Yeah, my man Pots and Pans, Gary Antoine Russell.
The future 140.
You know what I'm saying?
And when I say future, I mean it's rather sooner than later.
Hey DJ, why you saying Why you saying You keep saying
No, I just said I mean, I never heard of this guy, the Pots and Pans. I never heard of him. I'm gonna look him up though.
Okay.
I'm gonna definitely do my research on the Pots and Pans, man.
You didn't see the Gary Russell fight when he fought Victor Postal when he stopped him?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we talking about.
Oh, okay. I mean, hey, man, I got to see, you know, me. I watch fighters. I got to see them for a while, and then I got to say, oh, okay. I think honestly, the only guy in the era of boxing that I jumped on right quick, the 2 fighters, I could say I'm gonna be Adrian Broner. I like this swag, and then I jumped on Shane Mosley early. Like I liked them right from the door. I mean, Oscar De La Hoya. When I was younger, I loved Oscar. You know, I love Oscar De La Hoya. When he came out, I'm talking about not guys that was in the game already pro. I'm talking about watching them emerge as fighters. I like Shane Mosley, and Oscar De La Hoya was that guy that I very much was liking. And you know what's sad though? A lot of people wouldn't admit that they was a De La Hoya fan, but Oscar got some credible fights under his belt.
Got a lot of credible fights.
Not Ryan, Oscar for everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
So
if people say, "Oh, I was a De La Hoya fan," I don't know who they was.
He fought everybody but one person. Who? The one person he didn't fight?
Yeah.
We gotta go through this again. He ducked Winky.
You think he ducked Winky?
We know he ducked Winky.
I think wasn't it a money issue?
Well, no money issue. He ain't never offered him to fight.
I was asking.
Yeah, he never offered him to fight.
I think Oscar. I mean, we talking about late Oscar after Corte or right before Corte, right around in that time.
No, when he was at 154, he had 154. He didn't fight Winky. He fought everybody but Winky.
Well, I think Winky high guard style was dangerous for any fighter. I mean, Winky didn't have a lot of knockouts, but that defense was just like, you know, nobody wanted to get in there with Winky. He make the fight look sloppy and ugly, you know. So since you said that, Oscar Oscar and Winky, then you still not going to admit that Sugar Ray ducked Aaron Pryor, Apostle? Because you keep saying, no, Sugar Ray ducked Aaron Pryor, man.
Y'all gotta let that go.
I'm not letting it go. I'm never gonna let listen, as long as I'm a fighter, I'm never gonna let the Aaron Pryor situation go. I know the fight was on the table and Sugar Ray got a detached retina, but why I don't know. I just think that, you want to talk about errors of fights that we didn't see that got ducked. Aaron Pryor got ducked by a lot of fighters in that division. I'm sorry to tell you. But
don't blame Sugar Ray for that.
Who we blame then? The eye? We blame the eye? Who do we blame?
My man gave you Roberto Duran, Thomas Hearns, Marvin Hagler, Wilford Padilla, but that's not good enough for you. That's not good enough for you. That's not good enough for you.
Boy.
That's not good enough for you.
I ain't saying it wasn't good enough for me. I'm not saying I was a Sugar Ray fan. What I'm saying is, when you look at errors and what people would say, they would say Sugar Ray ducked Aaron Pryor. People will say it. There's a lot of people out there to this day that still say that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Yeah,
right.
Do.
So where am I saying wrong? I'm saying that although Sugar Ray did give us great fights, I mean, he gave us great fights, and he went in there and did what he had to do. However, I'm only going on what people would say. If we talk and they say, well, if you actually had to ask Sugar Ray one question, what would it be? I would say it would be, why you ain't fight Aaron Pryor? Why do you think you should have done it? That's what I would say.
Okay, second, did you know that Aaron Pryor was Sugar Ray's sparring partner for years? Did you know that? Okay,
so right, we understand that. So why you don't think that Aaron wanted to fight Sugar?
I get that, but he had Sugar Ray ducked the Hawk. Man, knock it off, y'all.
What was the sparring rumors, if it was any with them two?
Yeah, I never heard about the sparring. I mean, I did hear it, but I never knew what went on in sparring.
All right,
never been talked about.
Okay, so if you talk to the guys from Cincinnati, they're gonna say Hawk dominated. If you talk to the dudes from the DMV, they're gonna say Sugar Ray dominated. I'm gonna say this: the real reports is they were competitive. You know what I mean? They was very competitive. You know what I mean? They both prepared themselves. He helped Sugar Ray prepare for some of his biggest fights at welterweight, and Sugar Ray helped him prepare for some of his biggest fights, like the Arguellos and stuff like that. So I mean, listen, iron sharpen iron. You know what I mean? But make no mistake about it, Hawk Time was my guy. I love the Hawk.
Right,
I'm never gonna say nothing bad about Hawk Time. Leave Sugar Ray alone.
I mean, I can respect that, Apostle. I could what they say, bow out gracefully. I can bow out gracefully. Now, my thing is, when you said that about the competitiveness, I literally got goosebumps, and I'm gonna tell you why I got goosebumps. Because imagine if that fight would have took place, we probably would have had one of the greatest trilogies in the welterweight sport. I think it would have been a great trilogy. I don't think one man gets away from another man. I mean, I would compare that to, I mean, we only seen what we say, Devin and Shakur with elite sparring. Like we got that on video to see for yourself, elite sparring, at that amateur career. I wish they had that sparring though. I will. Because when you look at, I mean, not to be funny, but when you see Oliver McCall and Mike Tyson sparring, Oliver was pushing Mike around in the live sparring. They was banging in the live sparring. So I can see why Oliver McCall was a dangerous fight for a lot of fighters.
But yeah, they were sparring partners. They sparred many occasions, but like I said, people just don't want to let that fact. I mean, listen, man. All right. Y'all want to hold that against the Sugar Man, you can have that. You can have that. But see, the difference was this. Oscar went to that man's weight class and completely went violent. You know what I'm saying? And if it wasn't for Shane, because Shane was going to do it too. If Shane was gonna go do it too, but then he decided to do it, and then the rest happens. He beat up Shane, then he beat up Trinidad.
Mm. Well, I think I'm gonna be real, Apostle. Let's think about what happened with Shane Mosley. He was just coming off a beat down from Vernon Forrest. Vernon Forrest beat him down. And I don't even understand.
Are you talking about when he fought Winky?
No. I'm talking about when Shane Mosley. Why Winky got the fight won against Shane Mosley. He went in there. What I don't understand about Jack Mosley, if you fight a guy in the amateurs, you never beat this guy. Why do you risk putting your fighter in there against a fighter you never beat him? You never beat this guy.
For one, Shane was cut different, bro. Shane was cut different. Shane didn't.
Yeah. You're not listening to what I'm saying, different. Apostle. I asked you a question.
The fighter will win.
The question is this: if you never beat a fighter before, your fighter never beat a fighter before, you throwing him in there on a big stage to fight him and to lose, or you gonna say I'm not gonna take the gamble?
Hey, he did it though. He did it, and you got to commend Shane for that. They did it.
I understand, but you never beat this guy. Why take the risk to get beat up 2 times?
But that's what you got. That's why
you're gonna want that get back in the pros.
Come on, DJ. What you talking about is what we're talking about, and in terms of what we wish people would do. Shane had 2 guys on his resume that everybody told him not to fight, but he did it anyway. He checked the box.
I respect that. I understand that, but my thing is this, right? My thing is this: if the guy got your number, he got your number. Meaning you ain't never beat him in no fight in the amateurs. You the reason why you ain't go. He's the reason why you ain't go to the Olympics. You got beat up every time you fought this guy. Every time.
But the fighter going, like, for example, I don't know if you watched the Olympics. Keyshawn lost to Andy Cruz 4 times. You ask Keyshawn about it. Keyshawn say, "I'll see him in the pros."
Yeah.
But they want that. Fighters want that get back.
But let me tell you something. I understand the get back, but is
what we're asking the youngins to do now. You're asking guys to fight them type of fights now.
And some fighters and coaches feel like they lost to a fighter in the amateurs because they fought a pro style. So they feel like they got the advantages in the pros.
But what I'm saying is, we listen. Vernon Ford, Shane was the champion. Vernon Ford was the other champion. You know what I'm saying? When Shane went to 154, Winky Wright was the number 154-pound champion. He was fresh off beating Oscar for the second time. They asked him who was the best at 154. They said Winky. He fought him.
But he went in there very indecisive. He went in there unsure of himself because
unsure of himself.
He did, man. Come on, bro. I could go. All right, so you must have forgot the fight. I could replay the fight for you. You don't remember when Jack Mosley said, "Come on, Shane, what you doing in round 7?" He said, "You losing the fight." Shane said, "I am." He said, "Come on, Shane, what you talking about? You losing the fight." He didn't even know he was losing the fight. He wasn't even in that fight, man.
He wasn't in that fight.
He wasn't. He mentally he wasn't.
I watch that fight again. I ain't watch that fight.
Go watch the fight again. Jack Mosley said, "Shane, come on, what you doing? What you doing, Shane? You ain't putting punches together." And he said, "Shane, you losing the fight." I think it was around 7 or in between 7 and 9. Shane went in there looking all unsure. Jack Mosley went to him and said, "Come on, Shane, you losing the fight."
Had nothing, so you don't think none of that had nothing to do with the man across the ring from him literally picking him apart?
Nah, because Winky wasn't doing that much, man. Winky kept the high guard up. He wasn't really hitting Shane with no hard punches. He did what he did to win the fight, but he wasn't hitting Shane with Vernon Forrest punches. Vernon Forrest was almost put Shane lights out.
Bro, listen, Winky not a puncher. But Winky was literally schooling that man in that joint, son. He literally was just toying with that man in there. You know that.
I don't know. I see the different fight. I just feel like we had an unsure Shane Mosley get in there fight.
Yeah, because his opponent, because he realized early in the fight he couldn't do nothing with him.
Yeah, the defense. He had a high defense. He was doing a lot of stuff in the defense. I ain't gonna lie. I stole Winky Wright's whole high guard defense after that. I said, "Oh, this is a nice defensive style. Let me try it out." But it wasn't that Shane wasn't punching. He wasn't doing what he had to do. I just really believe that Winky, once he took away Shane's ability to hit him, I think Shane was very unsure himself. That's what I'm getting at, Apostle.
Which would make a lot of fighters unsure. A lot of fighters would be unsure. When you're in the ring with somebody and you literally can't land, they touching you, you can't touch them back. That's gonna suck your confidence out. That's anybody.
So you don't think anything else? You don't think the Vernon Forrest loss had anything to do with that? You think Shane was focused in that fight?
He was
because I don't think Shane was focused.
Wait a minute, you forgot what Shane was fresh off beating Oscar De La Hoya for the second time.
And that fight wasn't really all that great. That second fight wasn't all that great. It was okay.
Don't matter. I got the 154-pound belt. I got my face on TV. It was a major fight. I'm back.
But is every win a win? You get what I'm saying, Apostle? Sometimes you can win a fight, but you don't look great in winning the fight.
All fights not created equal, DJ. But a fight against Oscar De La Hoya is a big deal.
Come on, man. So when Bernard Hopkins hit Oscar to the liver, it was a big deal?
Yes.
Come on. Oscar was already over the hill at that time, man.
Was that not at the time Bernard Hopkins' biggest payday?
It was.
Exactly.
Okay. You won that one hands down. I can't even argue. That was like, oh yeah, well, yeah, you right. Can't even argue that.
Yeah. You know that boy was the golden boy.
I'm just saying though, from the links of, although I think what happened in the De La Hoya 2 fight, I think it was more or less for Shane. It was a confidence booster, although it was that second fight wasn't nothing like that first fight. That first fight was everything for the ages. I put that in that era, in that what was that, the 2000, early 2000s? I say that was one of the best fights for me. For Oscar and Shane, I think that first fight was phenomenal. That was everything that nobody expected. Mayweather said he did something better than undisputed 3 belts in one class, 2 in another. Agree.
He talking about when Floyd was the champion at 154 and 147 at the same time.
Right.
I think is it better? I think it depends on. I think that depends on who you beat to get that. I mean,
and who it is.
To say if it's better, you gotta say Mayweather. You gotta compare that to somebody's undisputed run to say if it's better or not.
I mean, my thought about the Floyd thing. I mean, when you sit down and you listen to him in the interview with Gillian Wallow, and he talks about how many world champions he beat, you got to look at the situation like, yo, this man was really strategic and smart on who he fought in the game. A lot of times people, listen, Apostle, listen to what I'm saying. When Floyd went back and said he fought these credible, like these champions, right? Although we may not have agreed with some of the fights that he had, or we did agree with him, we can't deny the fact that what Floyd said was very true. And that's why I said people don't want to give Floyd his credit on business-wise, but he's a very great businessman for the sport. I think he transcended the business of boxing for individuals that are great. But I mean, there was other great fighters. I mean, you can't knock Sugar Ray Robinson for what he did. We got pound for pound because of Sugar Ray Robinson.
Okay.
Like when you talk about these fighters, man, I don't know.
He's in that air.
Right.
When we talk about the Alis and the Sugar Ray Robinsons and all that, he's in that air.
Yeah.
Right, but then when you talk about him, you got to talk about the business mind of Floyd Mayweather, because we don't really have Floyd Mayweather legacy if we don't talk about the business aspect.
Can we talk about what he did in the ring? Because check this out.
Something that people don't acknowledge, like people who does like to criticize Floyd, besides Pacquiao, we're talking about Money Mayweather. Everybody he's fought them after their career best win. He fought Robert Guerrero after he beat Berto. Victor Ortiz after he beat Berto. He fought Canelo after he beat Austin Trout. You look at all them names, he fought them after they had their
Right.
career best.
Right.
They very best.
Right, but then we gotta also talk about, and this is the thing where I hate that they discredit Mayweather on the fact that this man fought all of them years after that with bad hands. We got Pretty Boy in the beginning because of the devil. People forget how Floyd was knocking guys out. Floyd was putting people out, putting them to sleep. He was hitting them hard, and for him to have the fractures in his hands that he did, and to come back and still do what he did at a high level, speaks a lot for his credibility as a fighter. Because a lot of people can't do that. How you get in there with them bad hands and still doing what you do?
When he was 37, he was sparring Earl Spence, fighting Canelo Alvarez. There's nothing else to talk about, bro. He was 37 doing that. You know what I mean?
And people
go ahead.
People say Canelo was this, that, the third. They forget that some people had him rated number 9 on the pound for pound list. Like, he was the number 1 super welterweight, and it was between Canelo and Austin Trout. He beat Austin Trout.
This man has been retired for 5 years and sparred and fought somebody and fought 2 people that's on the pound for pound list now.
I mean, it's an interesting thing.
Let that sink in. Let that sink in.
No, listen. When you think about it, think about every. And I'm not going off a topic. I'm going back on topic. Think about every fighter that has been an Olympian in our American era, like American fighters or Olympians. You cannot ever take away the greatness because these guys are still fighting in their 40s. Outside of Bernard Hopkins, I'm talking about guys that have transcended time. George Foreman, Evander Holyfield. You talk about these fighters outside of a Mike Tyson, outside of a Bernard Hopkins. These guys become ageless in their pursuit. I'm talking about these Olympic guys that went to the Olympics and they come out of the Olympics and they still fighting into their 30s and 40s. Floyd's still making money as a retired fighter.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm getting at.
I just wanted to talk about what he did in the ring.
People forget that the guy that Chris Colbert fought was an Olympian. I don't know why everybody ducked that fact that Chris Colbert got in there with an Olympian that they.
I'm glad you brought him up because I wanted to ask. So I don't know if y'all watched Frank Martin fight, but
yes,
they said Frank Martin and Chris Colbert sound like it could possibly be a thing.
Right.
What y'all think of that fight?
Good fight. Good fight.
I think it'll be a good fight for Colbert. I think it'll definitely test Colbert, and I think it's something that we need to see. We need to see Colbert back in there. I think Colbert is an exciting fight. I like that he's not afraid to talk and say what he needs to say, and he's unapologetically one of those fighters that gets in there and do what he got to do. Like, he go in there, he don't make no excuses. So I got to respect the Chris Colbert on that alone, that he can get in there, fight a guy, he lose. Hey, it's just the best man won tonight.
I respect that. He lose to Garcia, then come back and fight Frank Martin, who's better than the person he just lost to.
That's going to be an interesting fight, but it's definitely going to say a lot for the mental capacity of a Chris Colbert. You know, I'm also still wondering about a Tevin Farmer. Like, what's going on with Tevin Farmer? What is he doing? Because, I mean, he could be in these talks, but we haven't seen him fight. Tevin, where you at? Where you at, Tevin? What's going on?
He was supposed to fight Mickey Bay in Africa, somewhere overseas. I don't remember where, and I don't know what happened.
Right. Right. You know, but I mean, man, listen, I'm just saying, like, we got a few guys. I mean, you got to remember, I mean, I don't know what's going on with it. I mean, you still got to put Gary Russell in there too. Right. Nobody talks about a Gary Russell. You know, and I don't understand because Gary Russell's been around for a long time and ain't getting no major paydays. I don't understand that.
I want him to get his belt back. I wish Max Sayo would have kept his belt so he could have gave Russell a rematch and Gary Russell would have took it back.
Well, he got to.
What's up?
He got to go through his shoulder surgery and his rehab right now. Right now, he in aggressive rehab.
What the fuck?
And we had a couple, he lost his pops and two other family members.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that.
And
Yeah, that's
who
right.
takes over? What's going on, champ? What goes on? Who takes over? Who takes over the Russell camp? Like who's going to be the trainers for the Russell boys?
They train each other. They train each other.
Yeah, honestly, I don't.
I do know.
I mean, Pastor, you'll probably know this better than me. I think you know them. I don't think Garrett Russell, the oldest one, I don't think he has that much fights left, if he has any. I think he'll eventually take the trainer role.
Right now,
that's a tough loss to a camp, though. When you got somebody that's been strategically in your background and doing all this stuff, and now you got to figure out what's the next move for the team.
They were already working to prepare themselves for these situations already. So they've already been intertwined with what to do with each other in the camps and whatnot. So they work with each other to get it done. With their other brother. So yeah, they're good.
So now my question to you, Apostle, and this is the thing, because I know you got a lot of insight on the boxing. I wish we should bring Chump on too, because he got a lot.
I was going to, but I'm not going to go to bed soon. That's all I was had to get. I was going to say get one more question out the way.
Oh, okay. So what do you see? What's going on with this heavyweight division? I'm tired of seeing the same guys. We got a lot of blood in the water. There's a lot of sharks out there. In the next 5 years, where do we see heavyweight boxing?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
We got listen, man, we got some monsters over there across the sea, man. Some monsters.
I think what needs to happen, my personal opinion, I think everybody wants one of the three top guys. Usyk, Fury. Four. Usyk, Fury, AJ Wilder. I think they all should just get in the mix with each other for the ones right below them because they don't. Fury already talking about retirement. I think he's gonna fight one more time against either Usyk or AJ, and he's done. Wilder don't got many fights left. AJ, if he lose, I don't know what's gonna happen with him. Usyk is the only one I see have still got some years on him, so they might as well get in the mix with each other now.
I put Joe Joyce there. I put Jared Anderson there. Everybody want to count Daniel Duaz out, Dynamite Daniel. And then there's this Russian guy that nobody's talking about. I can't think of his name right now, but this guy's a monster. Huh?
The one from the Olympics?
There's two of them. There's one from the Olympics, but there's one guy I seen him and he be knocking guys out. I can't think of his name right now.
Let these dudes put some work in first. Let them put some work in first. Hey, listen.
Well, what about Joyce? So you want to say that Joe Joyce shouldn't be in the talks?
He could be. He should be.
He proved it already with the Du Bois win.
Hey,
that's what I'm saying. How you don't give Joe Joyce fights?
Hold on, DJ. Before we get out of here tonight, y'all boys got to come over to the clubhouse, bro.
I'm coming over.
I got to come over to the clubhouse.
What clubhouse with the?
AK the Apostle. I'm AK the Apostle on everything.
I bet.
I even come in there. I be coming in some of the Twitter spaces sometimes. I be in the room when them dudes be in there talking sometimes.
Well, I'm about to jump on Clubhouse now.
Yeah, come over to Clubhouse, bro. Bet.
All right,
champion.
All right, peace.
All right.
Wow.